Remember that time you had some thoughts on Disney World's must-do restaurants?
Some people like to eat. Some people, not all the time. Which one are you? Today, we're going to talk about some of Disney's most popular restaurants and how we feel about them.
Cinderella's Royal Table is the restaurant inside Cinderella Castle at the Magic Kingdom, and it's a character dining experience with Cinderella and her friends.
I personally know Cindy, and I remember one day we were having lunch, and I was like, this is really cute. Like, your dining room and your royal table is so cute. You should really, let some of these other peasants and people in to dine with us. And she's like, I'm gonna invite some of my friends too. I'm like, oh my gosh, we should make this a thing.
Before COVID times, I definitely went with my daughter and my niece. There was full princess regalia happening with the dresses. I believe Georgia was dressed as Aurora, AKA Sleeping Beauty, AKA Briar Rose.
But the time before that, I went on my birthday and I had breakfast, and it was very nice. And all the princesses were there, and it was just so embarrassing to be an adult man celebrating his birthday with all of the princesses there, because it's hard to not be creepy. It's almost impossible. In fact, it might be impossible.
Cinderella's having a Princess Diaries 2 style princess gathering. And so all of the princesses will come out and say a little hello.
The number one, OG, it's her house, Cinderella.
Jasmine, Snow White, Ariel, and Aurora are the typical visitors.
But it could really be any of Cinderella's royal friends, and they don't even have to be royal. So maybe Mulan stops by, maybe Belle stops by. I've seen Mary Poppins there. Once when I was little, Peter Pan flew in. So really, it's whatever character Cinderella invites to dine with her that day.
Not Esmeralda.
Where's Prince Charming? He's probably in another room, maybe watching football with some of his friends. Maybe Flynn and Prince Eric and Prince Philip and the Prince. Maybe they all come and they're down in the royal basement watching enchanted football while Cinderella hosts this lovely, gala for her friends. And I just want to say, I would like to go to the Prince's football breakfast. That's probably Funyuns and ranch dip, but I would be into that.
I am a bit of a Disney foodie. I love my character meals, but I do not love the food at Cinderella's Royal Table for the price.
Who cares about the food? However, I am wearing eating pants. These have a lot of give. And no, I do not wear sweatpants in every RTT that I film. I promise.
I should clarify, it's not bad food, it's just super expensive for what it is.
There's good food. It's not like all chicky nuggies, chucky milky, but you do pay for it. It's kind of expensive.
You're sitting in Cinderella's house and you're gonna tell me that the food isn't up to par?
It was all just very basic. I heard breakfast is better. Haven't done breakfast, but I know that it was just pretty it was all right.
Are you gonna look Cinderella in the face and tell her that she didn't serve you a good enough meal? No! You're going to suck it up and you're gonna eat every last bite because you want her to like you.
Their plant-based offering is very, very delicious.
Cinderella's Royal Table is one of those Disney World bucket list restaurants. You have to go there at least once to say you did it, and then you probably never need to go again. It's very expensive, and the food is not worth what you pay. You're paying to get in the castle and to see the princesses.
If it wasn't for the conversation I had with Cinderella, you guys would still be eating at Cosmic Rays.
Do you know where I am for this next meal? Here's a hint. Chef Mickey's.
Chef Mickey's is the all you care to enjoy option.
AKA Binge Palace, which is great with me.
It is located at the Contemporary Resort right next door to Magic Kingdom, and it features Chef Mickey and his friends who have been cooking up some tasty breakfast treats for you.
And you'll know because you'll hear it from a mile away. If you follow the clamoring sounds of happy families and lukewarm eggs, you'll end up at Chef Mickey's.
Chef Mickey's is very loud.
I hesitate to compare it to this because it's not anything like this, but it feels a little bit as if you've stepped into a Chuck E. Cheese. The level of noise and the level of children shouting.
There is a monorail going through. There are people coming in and out. There are tons of people eating in the restaurant, being loud, lots of kids. Very excited to see the Fab Five. Yes, it is very, very loud in there.
But I think that it's kind of like charming to have all that noise from that restaurant because a lot of it is like happy kids getting to meet the Fab Five, which is super cute. And I think that like that's some Disney magic right there, is happy children.
I think that I wasn't overwhelmed by that because I knew that I was signing up for a character meal that is crawling with children. And I had one with me, like in tow. Character meals are like that. They're a bit raucous, but it's fun.
One of the key things they do there is there's a little song they play, and you are instructed to twirl your napkin about during this song. The song comes on, all the characters come out, and they've got a napkin. So then you're like, back to my casserole. And then a few minutes later, the song comes on again, and you're like, oh, we're doing it again? Okay.
This is a microfiber cloth to clean my glasses.
It comes on again, and you're like, I literally just want to eat my potato and my pancakes right now. That's enough. I am no longer twirling my napkin. We've done it too many times, and my cheesy potato casserole is getting cold. I'm not swinging my napkin anymore. But then I always swing my napkin more because what am I gonna do, sit there and not do it? What a grump I would be.
Also, if we're having trouble dealing with that volume, then boy, do I have some bad news about literally every theme park.
So you can meet Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Pluto, and Donald. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Donald.
That's the Fab Five. You can meet all five. Boom, 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 boom. Get it done. And if you're trying to collect photos with characters, you can do it in one meal and stuff food in your face at the same time. And then touch them with your greasy, sticky hands. They're used to it. It's fine.
Typically, I say typically whenever we talk about character dining because something could happen. Mickey is guaranteed to be there, but the rest are typically there.
If I had to have a Fab Five character cook for me, I would pick Goofy.
Not Goofy. It would be. I'd pick Mickey. I think Mickey would do a great job
Because he's the chef. So like, it's his name on the restaurant.
I'm gonna go with Minnie.
I think Minnie is probably a great cook, and even if she's not, I love her so much that I'll be like, this was cooked with love, and this was a really good try, Minnie. And I'm gonna eat all of it because I appreciate you.
This is gonna sound really weird, and I don't know if anybody else is gonna agree with this, but I'm gonna say Donald. Here's why. Because Donald is so passionate, and he could be so overwhelmingly like mean and jerkish, and I feel like most chefs that are really good can be like that when they're in the kitchen.
Can't you just see Donald? Oh my gosh, this is like when Gordon Ramsay holds bread up. I do have this bread right here. When he holds bread up and he holds it around that girl's head, and Gordon Ramsay's like, you're an idiot. What are you? And she's like, I'm an idiot sandwich. And he's like, you're an idiot sandwich. Can you see Donald being like, what are you? And her being like, I'm an idiot sandwich. And him being like, you're an idiot sandwich. That's so funny.
How do you have a bread prop?
Oh, Mickey, you're...
What? 50s primetime? We're talking about 50s primetime? You know I hate this place.
The 50s Primetime Cafe is a restaurant in Hollywood Studios that is a table service sit-down restaurant.
And shockingly, it takes place in the 1850s. I'm sorry, no, I think it takes place in the 1650s.
The 1950s.
50s Primetime Cafe is a psychological nightmare, okay? First you walk in and you're like, I'm going to a restaurant, and you're like, wait, this is not a restaurant, I'm in someone's house.
You're put in a time capsule and teleported back to this very, I don't want to say stereotypical, but very stereotypical 50s home.
I hate going over to people's house, especially strangers, and eating food they cooked out of their weird kitchen. I don't know them. Did they even wash their hands?
Whoever came up with this concept, this is for you.
I love it. I love a themed dining experience, which is part of the reason why Disney World restaurants are just like the creme de la creme. And 50s Primetime is immaculately themed.
It's super cute in there. The decorations, like, they definitely went to flea markets and found stuff from the actual 50s. And there's little TVs at some of the tables that play clips from like the Dick Van Dyke Show and Leave It to Beaver. And everyone that works there is related, weirdly, to you.
How did they find my cousin, Dave? Okay, I didn't even know. I did not know I had a cousin, Dave. I have never met this guy.
What does stand out to me are the milkshakes, which that, like a 50s diner kind of thing, I can't think of a more perfect thing to get from there. But their milkshakes are very good. They serve it with a spoon, and so, because it's very thick.
With the peanut butter and jelly milkshake being their signature.
You gotta get the peanut butter and jelly milkshake. That is something you have to do.
Which sounds weird, but it is delish, and I insist you try it.
Peanut butter and jelly milkshake is a delight.
Wow, Dave! So what side of the family are you on the Jessup or the Hastings side? Oh yeah? Oh, very cool, Dave. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, on the inside, I'm going, I don't want to be here.
During the park closures, I made that with Molly on Instagram. Molly made a peanut butter and jelly milkshake, and I also made it at my house I made it with her on Instagram, so I assumed she had already made it, but I made it with her along with Molly. It was big fun and delicious, and I want it again. And you can find the recipe on AllEars.net.
Anyway, once you get past that nightmare, then you hear that Mom is in the kitchen? Don't make my mom cook for all these people. Okay, these are strangers. You may have found my weird cousin, but you are not making my mom cook in that kitchen.
I love the food at 50s Primetime Cafe.
My favorite is their pot pie. It's phenomenal. I will eat that every time that I go.
The food is really good. It is comfort food. Really good fried chicken, meatloaf, pot roast, chicken pot pie.
A casserole is like, if you call anything a casserole, I'm in. Like, if you were like, Quincy, do you want this casserole? And it was clearly a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'd be like, yeah, I'm in. Like, I love casserole.
And then, just when you think nothing could get worse, they found your weird aunt, and she makes you eat your peas.
Eat it.
And if you don't eat your peas, she humiliates you in front of all the other weird families eating in this stranger's living room.
Listen, you get one warning. Don't waste it.
I have social anxiety, so anyone getting mad at me, whether it be playful or not, I internalize and get very anxious.
I still am very embarrassed and humiliated that I was accused of not washing my hands.
Because these cast members are so good at their jobs. I love them. And I think it's hilarious.
That sort of reminds me of being an actor in New York, where you do know the waiter or the waitress. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever. How are you? And then they're like, I'm just working here for a little while. I'm just, just between gigs. So yeah, it's probably would feel a little bit like that.
Molly Shark, open wide, Molly. I told you got a big mouth.
Well, Ohana in the Hawaiian language means family. And family means nobody. Different one? Got it, cool. Okay, so Ohana is a restaurant.
Ohana is a national treasure. It is in the Polynesian. It is an all-you-care-to-eat experience. And it is amazing.
All I know is that when people talk about Ohana, they also talk about meat sweats.
I want to eat so much I'm physically sick.
Which sounds unpleasant, but then they talk about Ohana positively.
And I'm happy about it.
So
That's literally Ohana in a nutshell, is just so much food.
And the fact that they just keep bringing it around in waves is what makes it so good.
I probably wouldn't go pig out up in there and then wear a two-piece bathing suit, but I think that's probably true of most places that I would eat in Disney World.
If you've got a belt, just go ahead and unbuckle it when you walk in, because if you can walk out, if you could wear jeans to Ohana and walk out comfortably, you did it wrong.
Believe all the hype, believe all the rumors. It is one of the hardest reservations to get at Disney, and it's because of how incredible it is.
Breakfast at Ohana is breakfast classics with a little bit of a Polynesian flair, and they're all done very well. It's served family style, so they bring you a delicious skillet to your table of like bacon and eggs and Mickey waffles and Stitch waffles. And then they also have the breakfast bread was so good. A tear came to my eye because it is a coconut pineapple sweet roll.
Ohana has a character breakfast, which is cool, and they do like a conga line. I always see videos of Stitch and Lilo in a conga line.
I have met Lilo and Stitch at Ohana, but Lilo, have you seen her feet?
Her feet are as big as my face, and her big toe is like this big. And it's all I can think about whenever the character Lilo is around me. Dinner is where it's at though. They're gonna start by bringing you a loaf of pineapple bread with butter. And then they're gonna bring you a freshly made salad with a nice citrus dressing. Then they're gonna bring you a big, big skillet. And there's gonna be broccoli, who cares? There's gonna be pot stickers. There are gonna be chicken wings. And there are gonna be nudes. The most delicious nudes you've ever had.
If you say Ohana to Molly, she compulsively has to use the word nudes.
Nudes.
Like noodles shortened.
Nudes.
She can't help it.
And then they're gonna walk around with giant meat sticks that has been marinating for days and then grilled on a fire right there.
Something happens when fire and smoke meets seafood and meat. Something magical happens.
Oh, it's not over, friends. They are gonna bring out the signature bread pudding. Now this is pineapple bread pudding with the banana caramel sauce and French vanilla ice cream. They're gonna drizzle that caramel sauce all over that bread pudding. You're gonna think, I can't eat another bite.
But you can.
I mean, like, it just looks so shiny. You know what I mean? Like, you know when food is shiny?
And you are gonna walk out of there. Nay, roll out of there 10 pounds heavier and 100% happier than when you went in.
Midnight feast. Spicy.
What's Midnight Feast?
So the Midnight Feast is, if you're staying in the Polynesian, you can actually get the Ohana food delivered right to your room for room service. I have done this before. It is a lot of food. It is very good food.
Why am I not staying there now? Why am I not? This is unimportant. I just found out something that's more important than this.
Hi! Hey, Mickey, thank you for having me to breakfast. Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Both
Be Our Guest is a restaurant, a table service restaurant in the Magic Kingdom inside the Beast's castle. So it's like Cinderella's castle, but Beast.
And each of the rooms within Be Our Guest have a different theme. Like there's the Grand Ballroom where Beauty and the Beast dance to Beauty and the Beast. There is the West Wing.
Would you like to sing something? Look at the camera. So breakfast and lunch are quick service. Dinner is a signature.
I think that it's actually pretty high quality food, especially when you're inside of a theme park. In fact, I would recommend people go to Be Our Guest for the quality of food over Cinderella Royal Table or Crystal Palace or the Plaza. I mean, really any option, I'll probably direct folks to Be Our Guest.
There's gray stuff. It is delicious. That's not a rumor, it's true.
Because if you want to grind up Oreos and put it in a paste, then you can I will shovel that into my mouth quickly.
You know, it's not one of the best meals I've had in a Disney theme park by any means, but I ate inside the Beast's castle. It was awesome. You know what I mean?
And that's what's great about this restaurant is the theming. It's not the food.
The first time that I did Be Our Guest and I walked in, I was so blown away by the theming and the atmosphere that memory really stands out, because I don't know that I've ever walked into a restaurant and felt so much like I just walked into a movie that I loved as a child.
I think my favorite room is going to be the West Wing, the Beast Room.
If I went back, I would definitely request to sit in the West Wing. I would want to sit in the spooky, cool Beast area because it has the most going on by leaps and bounds. There's like no comparison.
Because it is the coolest and the best, just objectively, but I'm scared of the dark. Many of my nightmares, why do I talk about my nightmares so much on this show? I'm not talking about the murder nightmares, and I'm not talking about the evil bee nightmares. I'm talking about other nightmares.
The ballroom is absolutely my favorite. It's just so grand, and you know how you look at the movie and you see them look up at the ceiling and you can see the baby angels there, and you look up the ceiling and you can see it. It's gorgeous.
Which are all painted after Imagineers who are involved, their children, which is very cute.
When New Fantasyland, which is that section of Fantasyland, opened in 2012, after Imagineering was done with it, but before they had fully turned it over to food and beverage operations, they were giving tours of the restaurant, about 12 of us, and I was one of the chosen ones. So we were actually the first cast members to go in there after the Imagineers and the culinary team, and there weren't any tables or chairs or anything in there yet. So I got to walk into Be Our Guest restaurant into the ballroom without any tables or chairs in there, and it looked just like the movie, and I cried, which surprises no one.
If you're going to visit one restaurant that is considered for either quick service or for full service, I would actually argue that this is the one that you should go to. Just for the theme, I think the Imagineers blew this location out of the water in terms of its quality, and I love the Beauty and the Beast movie and the franchise a lot, and I will happily go and revisit that restaurant just to walk around.
These are all incredibly popular restaurants that are located around Walt Disney World that I would say there's a large portion of people that really love each and every one of them.
Another option, underrated, that should be on this list in terms of character dining, Topolino's Terrace is my favorite character meal in Disney.
I think one of the best restaurants I've eaten in on Disney property inside a theme park is Tiffin's at Animal Kingdom. That place is delicious.
I don't think that Chico gets quite enough love over at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge.
I think Akershus is incredibly underrated because they're like, what's the food in Norway? I mean, it's actually really good food. And you also get to meet princesses.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the same answer as I know Brie Love and maybe some other people and pick Garden Grill. Because Garden Grill, in my opinion, beats out a lot of these character meals.
For their plant-based meal, there's all you care to eat fried risotto loaf. Okay, they call it veggie loaf, but let's be real, it's risotto with some veggies in it. It's fried, it has marinara and gravy, and it is awesome.
Kronk, just to wrap up this section, do you have any more thoughts you'd like to add about Be Our Guest restaurant?
I like when people drop food on the floor.
This is Kronk. Thank you for watching my mom and all the All Ears friends on RTT. Make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when new ones come out. But if you want more right now, click over here for a list of all the Disney World episodes of RTT. I suggest watching with the yummy snack. If you want more All Ears, click over here for a video of my mom reviewing the worst restaurants in Disney World. I don't think any restaurants are bad though, as long as they have peanut butter. Thanks for watching. Gotta go get more snuggles.